Welcome to the Sales Prospector Show, supported by Lease A Sales Rep, a sales organization helping companies grow revenue by getting you more guaranteed appointments, leads, and closing sales over the phone and face-to-face across the U.S. I'm your host, Gil Pagan. Don't call me pagan. If you drive around Middle America and most of America, for that matter, you will see that we are facing some changes and challenges in the real estate market when it comes to large malls. You will see that a lot of stores are closing in the mall, and also big box stores like obviously Sears and Kmart that are anchor tenants in some of these large malls are also closing. And I guess the rationale for that, from what you hear, is it's a result of Amazon and eBay and e-commerce, where people have the convenience of going online and ordering their products and having them delivered to their doors. So malls right now are facing challenges because they need to obviously recruit tenants to fill those empty spaces, because they have real hard costs. They have electrical costs, real estate costs, they have taxes, mortgages, all those kind of things, and they need to obviously make money on their investments. So malls right now are pursuing lesser known stores to occupy some of the spaces that are being emptied and becoming vacant as a result of some of these big box stores either moving on to smaller footprints, like a Walmart, for example. They are going into smaller stores now versus the massive stores you typically see, or they are going out of business, like I said, the Sears and the Kmarts, which is actually the same parent company. But what I wanted to share with you today is that malls are pursuing lesser known stores, and you will start to see some of the stores pop up in empty spaces that were occupied by larger big box tenants, and you will see some of that space being reconfigured into smaller space so that they can accommodate, meaning the malls can accommodate these kind of lesser known brands. And landlords right now of most of the top U.S. malls used to rent most of their space to the biggest national retailers, which boasted the best credit and most desirable selection of goods. Now, they are looking beyond the big chains and toward lesser known retailers and startups that started online but have amassed customers and brand recognition. The reason is that such retailers tend to offer novel products that resonate with web-savvy customers, going back to the web issue here, particularly millennials, who are a massive group of potential customers that landlords are eager to cultivate. Century City, I don't know if you've ever heard of that name before, recently opened a 1.3 million square foot open air mall in West Los Angeles, and it has a larger than average number of tenants that started out as e-commerce retailers. So here you have e-commerce businesses that generated a lot of revenue online and began to build a customer base and began driving traffic to their e-commerce store. Now they're going into a mall. Candy boutiques, Sugarfina, clothing retailers like the Bonobos, which happens to be now a unit of Walmart, and Untuckit eyeglass retailer, Warby Parker, and Amazon Books all opened stores in this center in LA, which had been renovated by a mall provider called Westfield Corp. So you're starting to see businesses that started their companies online going into retail space to kind of diversify their market, but also allow people to see and touch products while controlling some of that massive overhead. They're not going into the Sears and Kmart kind of Best Buy footprint, which is 20, 30,000 square feet stores. They're going into more of the maybe 3,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet, smaller space to give people a location from the online experience to go in and touch products. You may have heard this as, I forgot what it was called. I don't remember the term. Was it retailing, or where they come in, they look at a product. You go into Best Buy, look at the product, and you go online. Showroom. You go online and you order the product at a cheaper price. So some of these stores are showrooms, and that these retailers, e-commerce retailers, have opened, and they don't carry inventory. So customers will have their purchases delivered to them, or they could pick up their purchases at the store later. Such stores take up less square footage. The nature of retail is changing dramatically, but consumer desire for new and unique products is still very strong. Many of these digital brands are ahead of the curve when it comes to understanding what is driving consumer sales and how to market in this new era. In the past, a startup without a big portfolio of physical stores could hardly get space in Class A malls. Landlords had doubts about their longevity and their ability to operate stores successfully. Boy, look how times have changed, right? They would have never put you in a Century City or Short Hills mall, but mall developers now are very aggressive in enticing online retailers with favorable rent deals. Why? Because now they have all this empty space. Why? Because they still have overhead. They still got to pay the mortgages on those buildings, and obviously to power those buildings, got to do all that. And those expenses are hard costs. So they're going to have to come up with ways to fill these spaces. And now the e-commerce businesses seem to be a good place for them to start. The risk for these landlords in embracing younger retailers is that their tenants have a shorter track record and might, peter out and end up closing. Clothing retailers Boston Proper and Nasty Gal, for example, opened physical stores, but eventually closed them after a few years. But people in the field, analysts, think betting on upstarts is a risk worth taking at a time when the retail industry is being reshaped by online shopping. If you don't do it today, you're not innovative. I think your real estate actually has intrinsically lost value because you are not reaching out to these types of people. There is potential volume to be done in these reconfigured spaces, focusing on specialty stores, like an Indochino, for example, or somebody who sells certain toy products exclusively, where they have a dedicated customer base, almost like an Apple store. It's kind of cult following, where they will go to the store to touch and look at a product, and as I had shared, they may go back online and order it through the same store, but they actually went into the store to see the product in a kind of a showroom, almost like fashion. If you know anything about fashion in the New York market, 7th Avenue has a lot of showrooms where buyers go in to look at the fashions coming out for the summer, the spring, the fall, the winter, and they actually go in and look at the products. They feel the material and all, and then they order them. Actually, they don't go online to order, but it's a very similar concept. They showroom them to the buyer likes what they see, they put an order in. In this example with the malls, the buyer, you and I, are going into the mall, touching a product, and we're ordering it either there at the store or going online to order it, because that's really what the store wants to do, is to provide a mechanism for customers to go into a retail location to potentially see product. So the leases for these environments tend to be 1 year or 2 years, because the landlord obviously wants to make sure that it works, but also the retailer, the e-commerce player, also needs that kind of flexibility to try out the model to see if it's going to work for them. And it's a very similar model to, if you notice in the holidays, you'll go into a mall, you will see a mall with empty space, and you'll see a Christmas kind of store pop up, and then it's there from November to December, and it closed in January. They did a 60-day lease. It's called a pop-up kind of store, and hopefully that generates some revenue for the business, also generates some revenue for the mall because they had empty space anyway. So very similar concept, but in this example, they're going to do somewhat of a longer lease, maybe a year or 2 years, just to test out the concept. Typically, in retail environments like this, in the malls, the leases go for 5 years, 10 years. Some go for 3 years, but the mall wants to sign a deal with an established player. They negotiate contract terms. It's done, and they can just forget about it and move on, versus having to renegotiate every year with a tenant. So be on the lookout as you drive around, all across America. Look at the malls, find out what's going on. Keep an eye out for these specialty shops that'll start popping up across America. I believe that you will see them probably more in urban areas with a dense population versus in, let's say, in the middle of Montana somewhere, or in the middle of Iowa. You're going to see them mostly in urban, dense markets with a lot of people because, again, the e-commerce retailers who want to try traditional retail still need traffic. They still need people to come and enough volume to run through that showroom and store, or that to buy product and order online, and just have to be in a city typically to do that. Well, look at the market, see what opportunities there are presented for you. If you're a marketing agency, this may be an opportunity for you to look at those businesses to help drive traffic. If you're working in the retail space and upfitting stores and things like that, that may be an opportunity for you. If you're a point of sale system type of software seller and you do these kind of credit card merchant processing POS systems, there may be an opportunity for you as well. If you are in the construction business and you want to work with malls and the like to kind of up to paint and put in lighting and things like that and tiles and those kind of things, there may be an opportunity for you. So there are some opportunities in this space for everybody, obviously, in certain industry verticals. Hopefully you can think through that, and this planted a seed for your business to kind of think about these things and how you can take advantage of this shift in the marketplace. My name is Gil Pagan. Don't call me Pagan. Again, this is the Sales Prospector Show. Thank you for listening. Supported by Lisa Sales Rep and Inc. 5000 Company. If you have sales needs, if you need more appointments, more qualified leads, you need some face-to-face sales teams to go out there and sell your services and products, reach out to us. Give us a call. Go to our website, lisasalesrep.com. Fill out a form. All our information there is available. Our phone numbers and the like. Go ahead and contact us, and we'll have a conversation with you to see if we can help. Thank you for listening. Please share and like this show and share it with your friends and the like. We'd appreciate that. That'd mean the world to us. Have a great day. Make it happen.